The Tampa Bay Buccaneers just turned free agency into a blockbuster show. Big names are staying, surprise exits are shaking things up, and sneaky moves might just decide if this team's hoisting the Lombardi in 2025. We're talking Chris Godwin locked in for $66 million, a deal that's got fans buzzing, and new blood like Anthony Walker stepping in to flip the script. This isn't just roster shuffling, it's a high-stakes gamble to keep the Bucs in the Super Bowl hunt, and we're grading it all right now. Think about it. Last season left holes, pass rush stalling, secondary crumbling, and Tampa Bay had to act fast. They didn't just sit back and hope. They went big, bringing back stars and adding pieces that could spark something special. Every move counts when you're chasing a ring, and the Bucs know it. From Godwin's jaw-dropping contract to Walker's fresh start, this free agency could be the difference between playoffs and heartbreak. Let's see if they nailed it. But before we get into that, hit that like and subscribe button for more Bucs and all the NFL content. Let's aim for 300 likes on this video. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers didn't waste a second when free agency doors swung open. Chaos erupted, and the roster started shifting fast. This wasn't a slow rebuild. It was a full-on sprint to fix what broke in 2024 and reload for a title run. Picture this: phones buzzing, deals flying, and fans losing it as the front office kicked things off with a bang. They had a defense stuck in neutral and an offense begging for stability. Now it's time to see how they tackled it all. Injuries crushed Tampa last year. Guys like Bryce Hall went down early, leaving gaps nobody could fill. The pass rush sputtered, and the secondary looked like a revolving door. That's the mess they walked into this offseason, and they weren't about to let it slide. The Bucs moved quick, stacking the deck with familiar faces and a few curveballs nobody saw coming. It's not just about patching holes, it's about building a squad that can slug it out with the NFL's best. Think Chiefs, Eagles, 49ers tough. This frenzy set the tone for everything we're breaking down today. Deals were signed, dreams were sparked, and some tough calls were made. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers knew they couldn't let their heart and soul walk out the door, enter the massive re-signings that lit up the offseason. Chris Godwin's back, and 3 years, $66 million feels like a heist when you see what other receivers are cashing in for. This guy's a game changer, hands of steel and a knack for big plays, and Tampa locked him up cheap. Then there's Lavonte David, the veteran linebacker who still got it, signing for 1 more year to keep the defense steady. These aren't just names, they're the glue holding this team together. Ben Bredesen's 3-year deal might not scream superstar, but it's a quiet win for an offensive line that can't afford to slip. That unit's been a rock, and keeping it tight matters when Baker Mayfield's slinging the ball. Now toss in Hassan Reddick, a blockbuster ad, not a re-signing, but too huge to skip. Double-digit sacks in multiple seasons says it all. He's here to juice up a pass rush that's been gasping for air. Sure, his 2024 with the Jets was a dud, but the Bucs are betting on a comeback story. These moves are about banking on proven talent, guys who know the system and can deliver. Did they lean too hard on the past, though? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers didn't stop at the big names. They went digging for gold in the trenches and backfield, too. Greg Gaines is sticking around on a 1-year, $3.5 million deal, and after playing the most snaps of his career in 2024, the plan's clear. Less time on the field, more impact when he's there. This beefy tackle's a plug-and-play guy, nothing flashy, just solid. Then you've got Anthony Nelson snagging 2 years at $10 million. Fans scratch their heads, another edge rusher when the pass rush needs a jolt. He's familiar, sure, but some wanted a bigger shakeup. CJ Brewer's the feel-good story here. 1 year, under $1 million, clawing his way from the practice squad to a roster spot. That's grit you can't teach, and it's cheap insurance for the D-line. Kayvon Merriweather's $1.03 million deal, and Kyle Trask? He's back for 1 year at $2.78 million, duking it out with Michael Pratt for that backup QB gig. No guarantees there. It's a fight to watch. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers weren't done. They brought in outsiders to stir the pot and plug some gaps. Anthony Walker's the headliner, jumping from the Dolphins on a 1-year deal. With 83 starts across 99 games, this linebacker's no stranger to the spotlight, and he's sliding in behind Lavonte David to beef up the middle. KJ Britt went the other way to Miami, but Walker's track record makes this a straight-up win. experience over potential any day. The Bucs needed that veteran fire, and they got it. Charlie Heck's another new face, snagged from Houston to replace Justin Skule. This 6'8" giant's a swing tackle ready to step up if Tristan Wirfs or Luke Goedeke miss time. Crucial insurance for an O-line that can't flinch. Kindle Vildor, fresh off the Lions, lands a one-year gig to boost the secondary and special teams. After losing Bryce Hall early last year, Tampa's not taking chances. Vildor's 30 career starts bring some calm to a shaky cornerback room. Then there's Riley Dixon, signed for 2 years at $6 million, finally giving the punting game a pulse after 2024's mess. These additions aren't here to steal the show, they're here to steady it. New energy, new roles, new hope. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers had to wave goodbye to some familiar faces, and it's a punch to the gut. Justin Skule bolted to the Vikings on a one-year deal, leaving a hole at swing tackle. That guy was money when Tristan Wirfs or Luke Goedeke needed a breather. Losing him stings, and the O-line feels it. Then there's Robert Hainsey, off to Jacksonville for 3 years and $21 million. He's chasing a starting job, and good for him, but Tampa's down a center who knew the playbook cold. These cuts hurt more than fans might admit. Joe Tryon Shoyinka's exit hits different. He's a first-round pick heading to Cleveland for 1 year at $4.75 million. Playing behind Myles Garrett, he'll rotate, not star, and that's a letdown for a guy once pegged as the future of the edge rush. KJ Britt flipped to the Dolphins, no big shock there, but Taviere Thomas joining Minnesota on a one-year deal raises eyebrows. He had upside in the secondary. Letting him walk feels like a gamble when depth's already thin. These guys weren't just bodies. They were pieces of the puzzle. Losing talent's never easy, especially when it exposes weak spots. The Bucs had to make tough calls, but did they cover their bases? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers reshuffled the deck, but here's the million-dollar question. Did they actually level up for 2025? On offense, it's hard to argue against progress. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Baker Mayfield are a trio that can light up any scoreboard. With $9.4 million in cap space, still in the bank, plus room to tweak deals for Antoine Winfield Jr. or Tristan Wirfs, they've got flexibility to keep that attack humming. The line's a little shakier without Justin Skule, but the pieces are there to protect and push. All right, Bucs fans, what's your take? A minus or B+? Drop your grade below. Think they should have Taviere Thomas or bet bigger on the secondary? Smash that like button if you're fired up and subscribe. Next video's diving into draft moves that could seal the deal. Where do you see this team in 2025? Let's hear it.